Welcome to Sips and Stories, where your journey matters, your story inspires, and every episode is a space to uncover what truly makes people thrive. Join me as we dive into real conversation with amazing guests, each one sharing the moments, lessons, and experiences that shaped who they are today. I'd love to hear from you, too. What's your journey? What's your story? And most importantly, what makes you thrive? We'll see you on the next story. Hi, everybody. I'm Sandy Shook. Welcome to Sips and Stories. I have Travis with me today. Travis, could you introduce yourself and let everybody know what it is that you do?
Thank you, yes. My name is Travis Chastain. I'm an Alexander Technique teacher here in Colorado Springs. I help people move out of chronic back pain, neck pain, joint pain for life. I also help people perform more optimally at whatever it is they like to perform at. That's what I do.
Great. And I've known Travis for a couple of years now. And I thought that your story was something that really needed to be shared with what it is that you do and why you do it. So if you can let everybody know, the studio audience here as well as out there, where you came from. Okay, you can say from your mama, but...
Well, I did in fact come from a mother. Yes, I do have one. But, well, I came from the University of Denver. That's where my story, I think, begins with the Alexander Technique. I was pursuing hardcore, being a professional musician.
Mm-hmm.
And all of that was suddenly taken away in a car crash.
Mm.
I was rear-ended around 50 miles an hour. My head snapped back from a car that didn't have a car seat that was big enough.
Wow.
And so I cracked my neck 3 times.
Mm.
And I was lucky enough to get out of the situation without serious damage. But I did have a ticking time bomb in my body.
Mm.
And 2 years after the fact, I had finished my undergraduate work. Now I'm in first year of graduate school. And I just wake up one day, early in the morning, and I'm just suddenly having pain in my back, right here in the upper chest. And there's some weakness in my arm, and I could still get through my day, but where I could once practice the guitar for 3 to 5 hours, now I could practice about 3 hours with several painkillers.
Oh no,
right?
Wow.
And then the painkillers weren't helping me at all. That started to go to 1 hour of practice, 20 minutes of practice, to the point where I could barely even move my arm. And it was devastating.
Yeah.
At this point, 10 or 15 years of my life had been devoted to really the love of my life, the classical guitar. I named my guitar Rosie.
Aww, that's sweet. Do you still have Rosie?
I still have Rosie. She's very sweet.
Aww.
We're on much better terms now.
Yeah. Yes.
Than we were then. It's like, I can't play you. But yeah, so that's what happened. And I went to the doctors, and they're, well, I don't really see anything wrong with you, but here's some physical therapy that we'll get for you, and hopefully it'll take care of it. I did the physical therapy. In truth, it made things worse, not better.
Oh boy. And I have heard that in other people's stories that, sometimes it doesn't really help, and you can continue to do it, but it makes things worse.
Yeah.
Is that what happened?
That's exactly what happened. Yeah. I mean, what was intended to strengthen my arm and strengthen my upper back made it far weaker, actually. And where the pain at one point was intense but manageable, I'm doing these physical therapy exercises, and suddenly I'm in level 10 pain.
Oh, wow.
All day, every day, very, very, very intense pain. And if I have a stressful situation, like a midterm or something that I'm trying to prepare for, I'm in terrible pain. I can barely move my arm, and my thumb is shaking all day, every day.
Oh boy, really shaking?
Yes, it's just doing this, right?
Was that because of maybe the pain, or something pinched with the physical therapy?
Certainly, that was part of it. Yeah,
Wow.
certainly there was some nerve damage that was going on from 2 years of having a very compressed back from the car injury.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But there was something interesting about it. The more stressed I was,
Mm-hmm.
like
Oh,
the more
yeah.
like reactive I would have been. Like, am I going to be able to pass this test? Or, man, I have to go to work today, and it's going to be a stressful situation at work, or whatever it was. If I had that stress, I would notice that this would get much more intense, and the pain in my back would get much more intense as well.
Yeah.
So that was happening as well to me. And then, after that, well, that's not working. Fortunately, I had a guitar student whose father was a renowned back surgeon.
Oh, was that something you had to do, is go through surgery then?
Yes, I had to go through a surgery.
You did?
Yes,
Oh.
I didn't get my back technically operated on, where they were like tearing at the back or anything. Like that. But they did operate on the back with some steroid shots. So they're like, well, this should relieve the swelling. You do have a severe compression in your C6, C7 vertebra, but I want to see if this will work first before we go into surgery. That was his diagnosis. And I got the injection. It seemed like I was going to get better. I was really kind of happy about that. Right? The pain started to lessen a little bit, but then, I got the confidence to try to play the classic guitar again. And I could play the guitar for a couple days. I was really excited. Hey, I'm relearning my Paganini Sonata.
Okay, Paganini.
Paganini, great Italian.
Okay.
Cool guy.
I had no idea. Okay. Mm-hmm.
But then, day 3, I'm in agonizing pain again. And my thumb is shaking.
After 3 days.
After about 3 days.
Wow. After the injection.
After the injection. And so at this point, I was a little bit at my wit's end. I've done the physical therapy. I've done massage therapy. I've done acupuncture. I've been operated on.
So how long was this from the accident until all this has been occurring?
Right, yeah. So I was functional for about 2 years after the car wreck, mysteriously. Adrenaline is a wonderful thing.
Yes, it is, isn't it?
But there's only a finite amount of it.
Yeah, yes.
And then 2 years after that, everything just started to get really bad. And so I was going through all these processes. Nothing was working to help me get back to the instrument. So my dreams, my hopes were shattered.
Yeah, I can only imagine. Because, okay, so you went to college for classical guitar.
Yes, I was getting my master's in classical guitar performance.
And had you already been performing as well?
Yes.
Traveling around doing that, or?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, I was, in my senior year of college, I was lucky enough to go into Italy and tour a little bit.
Oh, how cool.
It was fun with a guitar orchestra.
Yeah.
It's my first experience with grappa as well. It's very devastating alcohol.
I was just going to say, I don't know what grappa is, but...
Nobody knows how to drink like the Italians.
And I hear the audience holding back their laughter because I think there's some people that know it. Okay.
Yeah, grappa.
All right.
I was performing. Yeah, and now I couldn't play my guitar. I could play for about 10 minutes, and then
Wow.
all hell would break loose in my body. Kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then, ironically, I got introduced to the Alexander technique.
So how did you find that?
Well, the Alexander technique was invented by an actor named F.M. Alexander.
I didn't know he was an actor.
He was an actor, yeah.
Huh.
And he created the technique because he was losing his voice chronically.
Okay.
He was running into all these issues with his voice, and he discovered the reason for it was all these tension patterns that he had learned how to hold in his head, neck, and back relationship.
Oh, yeah.
Reciting. Now, because the Alexander technique was invented by a performer,
Yeah.
right? It's offered in practically every performance venue.
Okay.
So practically every music school offers Alexander technique sessions as part of the curriculum.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I had no idea. I'm going to have to ask my sister.
Yeah.
She's an operatic performer,
Oh, I'm
and
quite
I
sure
bet
she knows about it.
I bet you any money she knows about it.
And if
Yeah.
she doesn't, she needs to.
And why didn't she share it?
I don't know. How dare her?
Yeah.
How dare her not talk about something amazing?
Yeah, I've been living with this tension in my shoulders for years.
All you needed was the Alexander technique.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so it was offered at my music school.
Wow.
Right? And I'd been curious about it for many years because a lot of my colleagues had gone through lessons in the Alexander technique, and I remember them before they took lessons in the Alexander technique.
Mm-hmm.
And they were good players, but they would go out there and perform, and they would look nervous, like nervous Nellies, and they would make mistakes that I know they typically wouldn't make. Right? And then they go through Alexander, and they just like, Mike, what happened to you?
Night and day difference, huh?
You are so calm under pressure.
Really?
You are playing with such a better tone. Like, I've known you for 4 years, and you've not sounded like what happened. Oh, I've been taking Alexander technique lessons.
And now, was this at the Denver?
Yes,
the
at
University
of Denver.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I'd known about it, it'd been on my radar for a long time, but it turned out it was kind of hard to get lessons because everybody wanted them. There was only one teacher. Right?
Oh, yeah.
So I managed to get all the way through undergraduate school without getting any lessons, and then finally got into graduate school. And, you know, it happened, I got into it when I was at my most desperate point in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I had at this point decided that, well, this is really the last chance I have.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll try the Alexander technique.
And you were like, what's my backup plan if I can't play?
There's about 2 months left in this quarter.
Mm-hmm.
I'll see how the Alexander technique goes. I'll see if it improves my function at all. If not, I'll probably just have to drop out and, go to accounting school or something that's not quite as demanding for the arms, right?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, I don't know. I mean, professional.
Okay, I'm right-handed. Here I am bringing my right hand up. But
something that wasn't Paganini. Right?
Yes,
That didn't require that level of fine motor skills.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it was amazing to me because, I had my first lesson in the Alexander technique, and it was immediately obvious how different it was to everything else. First of all, it wasn't a therapy.
Mm-hmm.
It's an educational method. Right? What F.M. Alexander discovered was that how we think in movement, how we think in the response to the stimuli of life, like the stimuli of having this wonderful conversation, right? Or the stimuli of having to perform, or whatever the stimuli may be. But how we respond to stimuli has an impact on the function of the head-neck and back relationship, right? And as your head-neck-back relationship goes, the function of your whole body goes. That is the premise behind the Alexander.
So does everything really start from the head and neck? I know that we had, I don't know if you were at the presentation where we had a chiropractic office present. They were talking about our heads being as heavy as a bowling ball on just a stick.
Yes.
And I'm assuming that that's kind of the same theory then with the Alexander technique.
Yes, yeah. Like, what FM noticed for himself when he was losing his voice constantly and continuously, and that there was no remedy that the doctors could find for him. When he engaged in a very intense practice of observing himself in mirrors while reciting, what he noticed was very particular patterns of tension, and that were taking his head, neck, and back out of alignment. Right. If you don't mind, I'll turn this way.
Yeah.
So you guys can see. But
But who would have known that?
Well,
I mean, do you typically look at yourself in the mirror when you're performing? Sorry,
performers tend to be used to doing that sort of thing, right? Because number one, the aesthetic is important, and number two, there's kind of an intuitive understanding that alignment is necessary for ease of performance, right? So it's not at all unusual at a music school, for example, that you're going to be practicing in front of mirrors or an actress to be practiced, especially actors, right? I mean,
well, especially I know that with singers, you have to watch your mouth to see how you're forming your words.
Yes.
That sort of thing. But yes, go on now. Show.
I'll show you that pattern.
Yeah.
Yes.
Please.
Yeah. So what FM noticed for himself when he was reciting, a very particular pattern showed up every time he decided to recite. He would, as he described it, he would load a lot of tension in his neck here, and that pulled his head in this position. So you see where that's going?
Yeah, now you make me want to sit up a little
know.
straighter.
And if you're listening too, you'll probably notice that it's impacting the quality of my vocal cords. So he was noticing that the act of reciting was always driving this pattern of tension into his neck that caused that 20-pound bowling ball to be put out of position, right? And because you're out of position like this, what this is signaling to your nervous system is that you're in danger. You are, in fact, in danger because you're taking that 20-pound bowling ball that's designed to be perfectly balanced between front forces and back forces in your body. And now that's out of position.
Yeah.
And to keep you from falling, you're now having to load a tremendous amount of tension in your back, right? There's a lot of downward energy being exerted into the back from that, which is what he was noticing. He described it a compressing of the back and a narrowing of the back. He noticed that both happen. That when this gets too tight and it pulls the head back and down, it compresses the back in all three dimensions.
Wow.
Yeah, so you've effectively lost a lot of your natural space, the space in which you were designed and meant to have.
Yeah.
And because of that lack of space, and just imagine that you're not aware of this happening to you.
Right.
But it's just something that happens again and again. You do it over and over and over again. It becomes the most familiar thing you do.
Yeah.
And this is what was happening to FM. This was his fundamental reaction to life. That's what he was noticing.
Yeah.
Right? He was doing it when he was reciting, but he was doing it when he sat into a chair. He did it when he went to go brush his teeth a little bit. To varying degrees, of course, right? The bigger the stimuli, the more intense the response would be. But it was always present, and that's what he was noticing. But what was most discouraging to him is he noticed he was doing these things.
Yeah, and how do you change the behaviors when...
Exactly.
Yeah.
When that is your fundamental experience of life.
Yeah.
Right? That was the fundamental question that he had. And, he's like, okay, cool, I'm doing this. I'll just do this.
I'll just change my behavior.
Hey, I think I'm actually making progress.
Yeah.
He did.
But then, you find yourself, squatting down again, right?
Yeah. Well, what was worse is that, he felt like he was changing.
So it's more muscle memory.
Yeah.
Then too.
Yeah. But even beyond that, he felt things were changing. But then he went to go recite.
Yeah.
And then he lost his voice again.
Oh, wow.
Worse than he ever did before. And as he expressed it, he lost his voice with greater tension in his body, worse than he ever did. He barely could get through the recital.
Wait, after he discovered what he was doing?
After he discovered it and he was trying to fix it, he felt like he was making progress.
Yeah.
He was consciously working very diligently to put his head in the right position, to try to get a little bit more length in his stature and all these things that he observed that he was doing wrong. And he thought he was making progress. His feeling, aka his proprioception, was telling him he was making progress. But then he went to go recite.
Yeah.
He lost his voice worse than ever. And this devastation actually brought him to what is most unique about the Alexander technique.
Okay, tell me.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you.
Or tell us, sorry.
Yes.
You have me so captivated right now. It's like I forget we have a studio audience right now, too.
Ready to know?
Yes.
Yeah. Where was I? I forgot completely where I was now. Okay.
After he discovered.
Oh, yeah. So after he discovered that, he discovered that when you get into those habits of tension, they so deeply influence your feeling of proprioception, in other words, your feeling about the space that you occupy, that they're kind of co-conspirators in the crime. Your habits of tension and your sense of yourself are completely intertwined. You can't trust your feelings.
I know I can't.
You can't trust your feelings. Yeah, so, but that's what he noticed. And he's like, well, I can't do my way out of this problem. I can't feel, my feelings are lying to me. They're telling me I'm getting better, and I'm clearly not. The evidence being that I lost my voice worse than I ever did in my life. So where do I go from here?
Mm-hmm.
And that brought him to the conclusion that there was something far deeper than just physical going on. There was a psychophysical connection that was going on here.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That how he was responding to the stimuli of reciting mentally was first then influencing his physiology around the idea. And he kind of tripped on that observation because one day he was standing in front of the mirror in desperation, like, I don't know what to do. Everything I do is failing.
I don't know what to do.
Maybe I'll drink some grappa like the Italians.
Yes.
Maybe he did.
Just relax.
Maybe that wasn't maybe that wasn't put in the story.
Right.
Who knows? But he was looking into a mirror and he was just thinking about his lines. He wasn't reciting yet. He was just thinking about the character, what the character would want to present in that moment. And he stumbled onto something quite interesting in that moment. He was looking in the mirror while doing that accidentally, and he noticed what his head was doing. He noticed that pattern.
While he was just thinking about it.
Yeah, all it took. That's what he noticed. All it took was thinking about and consenting to the act of reciting mentally. He didn't even have to be doing it. All he had to do was be preparing for it up here. All it took was a preparation up here for his physiology to be preparing. Therefore, his habits of tension were preparing. Therefore, his habits of tension were moving. So he discovered that if he had any prayer of changing this, he had to change how he was thinking. He had to change how he thought in response to the stimuli of reciting.
So I'm understanding then that he was working too hard at thinking about keeping his everything straight.
Well, he was trying to do it, right? He was trying to learn a new way.
It was
of
straining
being.
everything in the process.
But the problem was he was bringing his old habits of tension into the attempt of learning this new thing.
Yeah.
And that's what he was finding, is that anything that we do everything the same way. Right? We bring in the same habits of tension in every single thing that we do, right? Either for better or for worse. Right? And, any direct attempt to change it only brings in those same problems.
Yeah.
Right? And so that's what he was discovering. Which brought him to a very radical and revolutionary concept that anytime I try to convey it to my students, the first thing I get from them is a, what? Really? But he said that in order to get his physiology to change, he started experimenting with this weird thinking process where he would consciously introduce the idea of reciting or going for a walk, and then he would say no to it. I know, exactly. That's the light right there.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he would say no to it, and not in this sort of way where it's like, well, wild horses won't make me do this thing. It was more of, well, okay, well, I could do this thing, but I could do this other thing. I could do this, I could do that. But before I do it, can I just invite in my thinking a little bit of ease in my neck, and let's see what that does. Something very interesting happened when he recognized the truth. The truth of choice. Right? So that's what he was consciously signaling, is he was signaling to his brain that, wait, no, you do have a choice here. And something interesting happened with that. That conveyed to his nervous system that you were in a place of safety to explore, and his neck immediately released.
Wow.
And then he had something
That's
that he
so
could
weird.
work on. Yeah. So the technique is purely about thinking differently in response to stimuli. It's not about doing anything special.
So how do you teach people that? Because you said you're students. I'm assuming then that you are teaching people.
Yes, teaching people.
Yeah. So how do you actually teach that? Is it like a drawn out process, or does it just depend upon, like me, the control freak? I don't want to release all that because it might work for me. You know what I mean?
Well, it depends on each person. Right? But, it's the same thing. We're just going to experiment with something simple that we do every day. That might be, it's how we're going for a walk, for example. Let's just start practicing getting in touch with how we're walking, for first and foremost, right? Practicing warming up the concept of listening to how our body's behaving in response to this action or that action, right? And so we're just warming that up just to, get the gears going. And then we'll just go through the concept of, okay, yeah, now we're going to go for a walk in a little bit. I just want you to stand there, and I want you to just practice this idea like FM did. Okay, think about walking, and then think about, no, I have a choice to do something else or nothing at all. And then don't do it. Right? Literally, don't do it.
Just don't end up on the couch like me.
Just stop doing it. I don't do that. And then I'll give them some instructions for what I want them to be thinking about their neck, about where their neck actually meets their head, which is way up here. And then I'll put my hands on to encourage a little bit of ease in their neck. Things will immediately shift. Sometimes the student feels that, sometimes they don't, right? But when a shift happens, I'll ask them if they notice anything.
And can you feel that shift?
Oh, absolutely.
When you're, okay.
Yeah, it's quite noticeable.
Yeah.
You can both see it as an observer, and you can feel it underneath the hand. It's quite obvious, right? Because the neck releases, the head gets put in a more optimal place, and that creates a little bit of a stretch reflex in the whole back right, that you can feel and you can see. And it's very subtle, but they compound every time we go through this thinking process. I'm asking you to just not do. Every once in a while, leave yourself alone when you're thinking. Think of your free neck. I'll put my hands on here. I'll encourage a little ease in your hips, perhaps. I'll encourage a little ease in your ribs, perhaps, because it's the whole head, neck, and back that we're interested in working together.
Yeah.
And then I'll help you go for a walk with orienting the head, neck, and back in a better, more optimal coordination. And then we'll talk about how that felt. Usually what a student references is, oh, I didn't know I had ankle joints. That's one thing I just got.
Really?
Or, I didn't realize that walking could be that light feeling, right? That was my first experience too, is when I had my first lesson, why do I feel 10 pounds lighter?
Really?
Like my scientific part of my brain's like, well, that can't be, I can't possibly have just lost 10 pounds in the last 15 minutes. Could I have?
Yeah.
No, but what I did was she changed the coordination more optimally. And because of that, it took pressure, the undue pressure off of all of the joints that I had been so accustomed to experiencing that wasn't there anymore.
Yeah.
Right? And so I felt lighter, and that's typically what a student will report is, how did I get out of the chair? I don't understand how it was that easy, right? Or I didn't understand that my arms could move that effortlessly. Right. So what we're aiming at is to stop for a while so that the old habit doesn't have that hold of us, that grip of us. Right?
Yeah.
To make room for a new habit to take its shape, and then act on that habit to reinforce it and put it into the neuromuscular system, the neuromuscular highway of life.
Yeah. So how long did it take you to become the expert, I guess, if you will?
It's a lifelong process.
Yeah. Well, I when we see each other, I do notice, that you stand tall, not because you're just really tall, but
not because
just,
of the Viking.
Yeah, but there's a way, that, you carry yourself, and I'm sure that it is, you were consciously or subconsciously trying to make sure that you have everything in line. I don't know. How do you get to the point where you don't relax too much that you go back into your old habits?
Well, yeah, that's the point, is that, the Alexander technique isn't actually about relaxation.
Okay.
It's about reestablishing proper tone of the whole neuromuscular system. Right?
So again, muscle memory, right?
Yeah. There's plenty of times where you'll come into an Alexander lesson, you're like, I didn't expect to be going through a workout. And you can feel that way because, you're changing the whole tension pattern system. You're getting a uplift in tone way down into the 5th layer of muscle in your spine, right? Which can feel quite fatiguing in the beginning, right? Because you're retraining everything things that were working too hard for too long
Mm-hmm.
are now not allowed to do that. Which means the things that were working far too little for far too long are
Yeah.
now forced to pick up their weight. So you can feel exhausted in the
Yeah. Well, and then I was just going to ask you too, does that make a difference too with like your mattress? I mean, did you notice that too, where you had to change out a mattress? Or, I'm sorry, but that's where I go, because it's like, I like my bed.
Well, I had to change out my clothes.
Really?
Yeah, I'll tell you why.
Yeah, please. Were they too heavy?
Well, interesting thing happens is that when we get into these tension patterns, it negatively impacts the shape of the whole back.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It gets too narrow, and it does weird things to the legs. Right? Before the Alexander technique, I had very bowed legs, for example.
And sorry, you had very
I
what?
had very bowed legs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Like,
They weren't corrected
like
with
I've
a
been
little.
riding a bull for 7 years.
My baby sister had to have a brace on her feet when she was little, because her feet were like all the way out. So she had to, I think she was like 18 months, and they put her in a brace that kept her feet like this for, I don't know how long, 6 months or something. Poor girl. She couldn't crawl, nothing, because that brace was in the way. So, yeah.
Well, to give you a practical example, when I started the training process for the Alexander technique, I was 6'3" 3/4 inches tall. After I finished 3 years of it, I was 6'4" 1/4 inches tall.
Oh, wow.
And that's not at all unusual. Like
Seriously?
No, like my first student that I had who she was actually in the training program. We were giving her discounted lessons so we could practice. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So my very first student in the training program, I taught her for like 15, 20 lessons. And she came because she was complaining of lower back pain. She went through the process and she went, "Oh, I just got back from my physical. I'm 4 inches taller."
4 inches?
She said it, I don't believe it, but she was a lot taller.
Yeah.
And she changed quite a lot.
Wow.
The point I'm trying to make is that we get into habits of compression that compresses a lot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And this is where the myth of, well, you're getting older, you're just supposed to shrink comes into play. That's complete nonsense.
Well, and I'm glad you say that, because I actually, after I had my second son, I don't know, I think it was like a year after that, when I went to the doctor, I lost like a half an inch. Right. And I'm like, I was always 5'8". How did this happen? Oh, that happens in age. You lose, blah, blah, blah. Well, and then I don't know how many years later, I don't know what I did differently, but now I measure at 5'9". And it's like, what?
She was drinking
Yes. But still, I didn't know that's a possibility, that because of how, wow. Yeah. Wow, okay.
Well, you have we can compress that spine a lot.
Wow.
And it has.
And it could have just been, playing basketball and playing volleyball all through from 5th grade on. Maybe it was compressing more than I thought. Bad shoes.
Yeah, I mean, the truth is that we all just, most of us, the overwhelming majority of us get into those habits of tension.
Mm-hmm.
We just, F.M. Alexander called it the habit of life, right?
Mm-hmm.
We just tend to get in the habit when we're doing things to do them with too much tension and to shorten ourselves in the process.
Wow.
Right? Instead of lengthening and widening, we compress our backs when we do something.
Mm-hmm. So do you work with a lot of elderly folks then? Really?
Yes, I do.
And I'm sure it helps them. I can't imagine, because that is one of the things that I know, just in recent, education events that I've gone to with wellness centers.
Yeah.
They have all, I think it's the thing that keeps ringing in my head. Don't lose the ability to walk, because the moment you do is when you lose a lot of, other abilities.
Right.
And so the Alexander technique probably helps a lot of those that are 55 and over.
Oh, yeah.
To create better habits. And wow.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that reminds me of something that Walter Carrington, who was one of the great teachers of the Alexander technique, said. He's like, well, when you get older, you can't necessarily rely on your strength anymore, and you really need all the help you can get. And he said that Alexander technique is most helpful in this stage.
Mm-hmm.
And it really is the testing ground,
Mm-hmm.
because it is a process by which you learn how simple it is, actually, to let go of undue tension.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very simple thing.
Mm-hmm.
It does require stopping what you're doing and thinking a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'd have to think. Come on.
It's a very, it's a very fun,
Okay.
right? It's way more fun than that.
Okay.
Yeah, and
It's not studying, it's just thinking.
yeah. I mean, it's a very light process,
Mm-hmm.
right? And if you're not having the time of your life doing the Alexander technique, you're really not doing the Alexander technique,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's a place of playful exploration around movement.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's a place of playful exploration. Okay, well, where is ease in your body right now? And what is interfering with the ease in your body right now?
Yeah.
And when you are allowed to make the time,
Mm-hmm.
when you're allowed to make the time to explore,
Yeah.
what's going well and what's not, ease always shows up and tension always starts to diminish.
Yeah.
And then it's just a matter of acting out that diminishment of tension, which then creates a new neuromuscular pathway in your body.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a matter of doing the reps. And when you do the reps, it becomes part of you.
Mm-hmm.
You can't
Well,
help
and
but
it-
think of the process.
Well, and it also makes you slow down.
Yes.
And that's probably why, those that have been trained in it have a better outlook on things, because they can pause and slow down a little bit. Yeah. I've been reading that all this week too, about just slowing down, because you miss out on so much if you don't.
That's very true.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if there's more that you want to talk about, but I do want to ask some personal questions too before. But I love this. I love the Alexander technique and learning more about it. Is there anything more? Because we've got about 15 more minutes, and I'd like to leave a little bit more. I'd like to get a little bit more personal, but also too.
What, more personal than grappa?
Yes, I want to know. You grew up here, right?
Yes. I grew up in Eagleville, Colorado,
Mm-hmm.
and came down to Denver, and then from Denver to Colorado Springs.
And Colorado Springs, why Colorado Springs? You didn't like Denver anymore? Or just, no offense to Denver.
I mean, there was a multitude of factors that brought me down here.
Yeah.
I mean, it was interesting. Like, when I became certified in the Alexander technique, I just kept getting work down here. And
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just would meet.
So do you consider everybody a student instead of a client? Is that how you reference those that actually you're working with to?
Yeah, I tend to
try to
want
help them?
I want to call it that because it helps
Yeah.
people understand what they're in for, right?
Mhm.
That this is, you're not coming to a therapy kind
Yeah.
of thing. Right?
Yeah. And I think that's what you said in the beginning. You wanted to make sure that people know that it's not just it's not a therapy. It's
It's
a
an
little.
educational method with incredible, tremendous therapeutic value.
Mm-hmm.
But the value in it is that it's the best self-help I've ever learned.
Mm-hmm.
It just helps you stay calm under pressure.
Yeah.
If you woke up having a kink in your neck from I slept like this or whatever, and you accidentally fell down the stairs because you were texting,
Oh.
whatever it is, right? You have this method to help you if you're in trouble.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right? And you have a method to help you for yourself when you're in trouble.
Yeah.
And that's the thing I found very refreshing about it.
Mm-hmm. So most of your students then, they started ending up down here, so you were traveling a lot.
Yeah, I was traveling a lot. Like, I had a lot of former music colleagues from DU or that you're doing this. This is exciting. You want to come do a master class? And, sure.
Wow, that's
Great.
cool.
And then that led to some teaching opportunities. So
Do you still do master classes then?
I do still do master classes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I love doing master classes.
Yeah, that's
Especially
awesome.
for like performing artists. It's really fun.
Yeah.
Get them in the creative juices.
Mhm.
It's really
Mhm.
cool. Yeah. So that was there, and then I met my soon later to be wife, who lived down here, and I'd always had it in my heart to help people with the Parkinson's community. For whatever reason, God has always drawn me to the Parkinson's community. And I learned not long after I had become an Alexander Technique teacher, there's quite a large concentration of people with Parkinson's disease down here. So there was a number of factors that like how God works. He works
I know. And it's like, sometimes it's like, can you hurry up?
Yeah, and then suddenly,
but it's like, wait,
whoa, slow down.
I'm not ready.
Yeah, but you told me to hurry up.
Yes. But so I guess with Parkinson's, how does the technique work for those that have Parkinson's? I mean, do you have a lot of students?
Yeah, a lot of students. Yes, I've had several students who've been with Parkinson's disease. So, one of the things that happens for people with Parkinson's is what the disease does is it impacts dopamine levels and how it distributes across the brain. Roughly speaking, that's what it does, right? So, they'll suddenly have a very difficult time getting out of a chair, for example, or going down those stairs suddenly seems like it's something they don't know how to do anymore.
Yeah.
Right? And so the process of the Alexander Technique of pausing, of stopping to consider the means by which you want to do something, not just going to do the thing. Right? What's the process by which we can do this effortlessly? Right? And that's fundamentally what the technique is about. And that really helps them, right? Because they get this tool in their toolbox that, well, I'm having a downtime right now. But wait, I have this process that I can use to calm my nervous system, to free up my head, neck, and back relationship a little bit, to recognize, give myself a choice, and maybe do a lie down or practice it with walking.
Well, so I've heard too with Parkinson's that one of the biggest challenges that anybody that has it has is that parts of their body lock up.
Yes.
And I didn't know that, and there was a really good friend of mine that was diagnosed at 38. And I think it's her wrist that locks up on her, so she can't write.
Right.
And that just kind of surprised me. And so I look at it differently now. Yeah. The illness or whatever, I hate to say disease, but I look at Parkinson's differently now because of knowing just those little bits and pieces of what happens. So I'm assuming then the Alexander Technique can help with that too when they lock up, that they kind of can relax everything because they're pausing because of the lock, right?
Right, yes. Well, we have some really good science on it too, which is really, really great. One of our best scientific studies on the Alexander Technique is for people with Parkinson's. And, what it showed is it significantly reduced tremor, for example, after practicing the Alexander Technique. And it significantly reduces rigidity in their movements, right? And it gives them a better gait in their walking. And, everything that you would think to expect out of a movement method like the Alexander Technique, it does, and it delivers for them. And it does it in a way where, they can be wherever they are. If they're having an off day, that's actually when the Alexander Technique helps them the most. That's what the study showed, is that when they're at their worst, the Alexander Technique is their best friend.
Yeah.
And it's very helpful in those places.
And you did not have anybody in your family with Parkinson's that you ended up, that's where you were kind of driven to?
No. I mean, I don't know why, to be honest with you. I don't know why God put it so strongly in my heart, but He did. And it's a fact. It's always been what I wanted to do with the technique the most. Is help with that and help with people who haven't been finding results from conventional methods. Right? I was a product of going through the conventional methods that failed and being treated rather flippantly when they failed.
Well, and that because it's all internal.
Yeah.
You know, if you had an external thing, you know, like a skin rash or something, you know, they'd know how to treat it. But
Right.
you know, anything that's internal, you know, brain related, you know, body related inside, you know, you can't, it's hard to explain when something's going on inside of you like that.
There's a lot of things that are just great mysteries,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's not anybody's fault. It's
Yeah.
just, you know, the system didn't know what to do with me,
Yep.
right? And if I can be an instrument of helping people give them some tools to make each day better
Mm-hmm.
than it would have been.
Mm-hmm.
If I can give a little hope where there isn't any, then I would consider my life a well-lived life.
Yeah.
And
So I do want to talk about, you have a baby,
I do.
still under 2.
Yes.
So still a baby, right?
Yes.
A thought came to mind is when your wife was pregnant with baby,
Yes.
did she use the Alexander technique for,
Yes.
I mean, I'm assuming this helps with pregnancies too, not only pregnancies, but delivery as well.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. There's a.
Are there more people aware of this, or is that what your goal is to actually,
It's one of my
that out
goals.
there.
Yeah, I know. Get it out
that's
there.
crazy.
Yeah, I know. Well, especially since it's been around for 150 years.
Yeah.
You know,
Uh-huh.
it hasn't been around for a small period of time.
Mm-hmm.
It's been time tested with a lot of really good science behind it.
And you only found it because you were in the music industry.
Yeah, yeah. Most artists, a lot of performing artists know about it.
Yeah.
Right. You know, for whatever reason, it's had a difficult time getting into the health and wellness
Mm-hmm.
aspects, right? And it's been focusing primarily on the performance benefits that it has.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's one of my goals, is that more people have the knowledge of this and how well it complements everything.
Yeah.
Right? It's not a standalone technique. It works very well by itself, but it helps physical therapy.
Mm-hmm.
And we know that, you know,
Yeah.
from hard science around what it does with low back pain with Alexander technique plus physical therapy and what that does.
Yeah.
It's very powerful.
Yeah. Well, because you're not tightening up. I mean,
Right.
I think that even probably like chiropractic care too, one of the reasons why I go to a chiropractor that uses the activator is
Yeah.
because I know I tense up before they even touch my neck. And it's like, I know that's not good for me.
Right.
And so, yeah,
Yes.
so I, you know, now that's all I will let somebody use on my back or any of my joints, you know, it's like, but knowing now that this technique can help with that as well. If there is, you know, like I have a bad hip,
Right.
you know, from a car accident, go figure.
All right.
Yeah, and that was on an icy bridge. And as I got hit, and then he hit me on the side too. And I was like, at least I didn't go over the side. Right? Yeah, I mean, we weren't even going that fast, you know, at least we weren't going that fast, but it was hard enough to hit me in the back and spin me around so he could get me again on on the side of the car. But I had no idea that my hip was going to be a problem,
That's scary.
you know,
too.
for the rest of my life when I went through that. So, and I'm sure you didn't know that was going to happen with you either, because your body just recovered, you know, from your accident.
Right.
For 2 years. You lived with whatever pain you had just because, well, that's the way it is. Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, it changes the shape of your body, and that's just the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And then you move in that different shape,
Yeah.
and then that reinforces the shape, and it's
Wow.
a big problem.
So I want to ask the audience if there's any questions that they have. And then, of course, if there's anything that comes up that you do want to talk about, you know, anything more that you want to add, please feel free to do that. I can do all that in the edits too.
Okay.
You know, take those out, but I want to make sure that we capture what we need to,
Yeah.
so that, you know, we can get that covered with the, you know, the filming.
Right.
So, any questions from the audience? Yes.
Hi there. It feels like Western medicine is starting to finally figure out that prescribing drugs for every little thing is not a great thing. Does that make you more optimistic about Western medicine and accepting and adopting some of these things to help with pain management and help people heal?
Yes, I am. I am getting more optimistic about it. I mean, I have physical therapists who are very open to it and excited about it. And,
very nice.
And chiropractors who are very open and excited about it. So absolutely, yeah.
So how does that work then with working with chiropractors and physical therapists? Or do you work in tandem with them then, or?
I mean, I haven't yet, but it could be a great trinity.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It could be, because, the chiropractor is doing great things in the moment to help get the spine more aligned.
Mm-hmm.
And what we're doing as Alexander Technique practitioners, we're realigning the muscle fascia,
Mm-hmm.
the whole muscle tone, and then we're reinforcing more healthy neuromuscular pathways, habits
Mm-hmm.
around movement, right? So that they're moving in more healthy ways so that they're not as likely to go into the same place that they were, right?
Yeah.
And, just come back to the chiropractor in the same shape that they were a week ago, 2 weeks
Mm-hmm.
earlier, right? And same thing with physical therapy, because it's an educational method that teaches them the fundamentals of how the human organism operates, how the mind influences the body.
Mm-hmm.
And gives them a very simple set of principles to organize their coordination in whatever the movement is.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, a physical therapist gives you a particular strengthening exercise, for example.
Mm-hmm.
You can use the principles of the Alexander Technique in relationship to that strengthening exercise to get better benefit out of that strengthening exercise, because you're going to do it without carrying and adding so much excess attention in your head, neck, and back in the process.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what the studies have been showing,
Mm-hmm.
is that Alexander Technique plus physical therapy is way more powerful than either one of them individually.
Mm-hmm.
They're both very good. Right?
Yeah.
And the Alexander Technique, what it does after 24 sessions for lower back pain is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
But 6 Alexander Technique lessons plus 6 physical therapy lessons yielded about 72% of what 24 lessons of Alexander Technique did. Right? So
What about
it's a great
weightlifting
marriage. Oh, yeah.
and like those types of, okay.
Yes, because it's a movement.
So,
right?
yeah, I mean, it
You're
sounds like you can work with a lot of different people that.
You're a human being.
Yeah.
So long as you're a human being, grabbing those barbells, right? You're
Yeah.
going to be operating within the design of the human being, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's ways to use that design well. There's
Mm-hmm.
ways to misuse that design,
Mm-hmm.
right? And we just teach people how to use it well within whatever activity they're doing.
Yeah.
So yes, it's a fact that if you learn the Alexander Technique, you're far less likely to get repetitive stress injuries,
Mm-hmm.
whether it be from a weightlifter, a musician, an actor, a dancer. It doesn't really matter.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
So I just learned that I have an uncle who was just diagnosed with Parkinson's. Are you connected to a network? So he's in another state that you could refer.
Yes, we have a good network. Yeah, there's this society called the American Society of the Alexander Technique, which I'm certified in, that has a big website of all the Alexander Technique teachers in their community in the entire country. There's also an international Alexander Technique community as well, if there's somebody abroad, for example, who needs help.
So you had spoke about playing guitar. So as an artistic person, I'm also just kind of curious, what are some of your other interests? And also, what is your favorite color?
Ooh. Well, my favorite color is blue.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's light sky blue. I like the sky blues.
Mm-hmm.
I love martial arts. That was my first love before music.
Yeah, we didn't even get into any of the personal stuff. We'll have to have you back.
Oh, I'll be back. Yeah, and I love ballroom dancing with my wife.
Aw.
So you've mentioned the word shift a few times.
Mhm.
I think in your marketing would be funny if you had something something to the effect of shift happens.
I love that. Can I just carry her around with me?
Sure.
Shift happens. Hey,
Yeah.
shift happens. I'm gonna try that.
Yeah.
So what genre of books and board games do you like?
Books and
Ooh.
board games?
Board games.
Oh, board games.
Ooh. Well, you can go more.
Well, my wife and I love Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Fellowship, all the good classics.
Yep.
She likes Scrabble. I hate Scrabble. I always lose to my wife. Scrabble. It's irritating.
Yep.
What was the second part of that? Did I?
Books.
Oh, books. I love history. Yeah, so I love reading about the Crusades.
Hmm.
I love reading about ancient Rome, ancient Greece, that sort of stuff.
So that's why the brain went to war.
Yeah.
Because of your history.
It's a bloodbath.
What's your daughter's name and what's the origin of her name?
Her name's Emerenciana. It's a Roman Catholic name. My wife and I are both Roman Catholic. So Saint Emerenciana was an old martyr of the first church. First generation of Christians after Christ.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really cool. How did you find that? Are you a researcher too?
I'm a researcher, but my wife had always had a love for this name. And when I learned that Saint Emerenciana died at the tomb of Saint Agnes, and my mother's name is Agnes.
Yeah.
And it's funny how names do that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Because the first time my mother met my daughter, they I think my daughter, the first person she smiled at was my mom.
Oh, that's
she smiled
so
at my mom
sweet.
before she smiled at me. So
Yeah.
It was really kind of cool.
That's neat.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, then I guess, I don't know if there's anything more that you wanted to add. I just wanted to thank everybody in the studio audience for coming and learning about the Alexander technique. Thank you all out there as well. And Travis, if you can let people know how to reach you.
Yes, you can reach me at my website, www.bodymindbalanceco.com.
Great. And all that will be out on the film as well. So feel free to reach out, and we will see you on the next story. Yay! Oh my God, that went so fast.
Great job. You did great.
What's your journey? What's your story? And most importantly, what makes you thrive? We'll see you on the next story.